What's going on, guys? It's Dragoon here, and I'm back with a new Elemental Hero deck profile. I talked about in my kind of reaction video to the list that I wouldn't be playing a whole lot of this format, and that is still true. Just to give you guys a bit of an update before we get into the deck itself, I'm actually not playing this format because I'm not in America. I am studying abroad in Japan for a semester, and so I kind of can't play the TCG list for September since I'm not there. I also, as you can see, am doing the video on Duality Network because, like I said before, I'm here to go to school, to enjoy the country and the culture, not necessarily to play cards. And so yeah, I didn't bring the deck with me, so it wasn't ready, it wasn't put together or anything like that. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. It's called Fallen Heroes, as you can see, because, well, that's kind of what it is. I mean, losing Stratos was, like losing an essential piece of a puzzle. It can't be, in my opinion, 100% complete without him. But we can do our best to make the picture clear. Now, Stratos left really big shoes to fill. He cast a large shadow on the deck because he was such a key player. So we have to kind of let someone come in and take his role. And with that, it's kind of Neos Alias's job to fill the void that Stratos left behind. At least in the deck I've built here, I've focused it around a lot of Neos Alias. Neos Alias has always been a very prime member, a very important card in the deck. But, now he's kind of taking that leap forward. So, like I said before, Neos Alias is always very good. And because he's so important this time around, I'm actually playing Crusader of Endymion as well. So, we've got Neos' best friend in the mix to serve as another 1900 light Gemini monster. As for other Elemental Heroes, we've got two Elemental Hero Bubbleman. Only two this time around because he is less consistent without Stratos, in my opinion. You don't have the ability to summon Stratos to search a Bubbleman. If you have cards in your hand, you can, attempt to set them, and then special the Bubbleman from your hand. So it doesn't work out quite as well because you don't have the Stratos, but he's still an important member of the team, so that's why I still think he's important. Like I said before, just two because you really don't want to draw him that much. You'd like to search him out with the emergency call and use it. Go ahead and special summon him from there. So I feel like two works out enough. You'll still see him, but he won't be quite as dead. To help replace Stratos, we've got Elemental Hero Ocean. I used Ocean in my deck profile previous to the one I did most recently, which he served as like a pseudo Stratos, and that's still what he kind of does. He's just, he's a lot slower. He takes a turn to get his effect in. I mean, granted, he can do it multiple times, which is pretty good, but, it's the fact of the matter, you have to keep him alive for a turn. Plus, he doesn't get a card out of your deck, he gets out of the graveyard, so if you don't have anything, then, Ocean's not going to be doing as much work for you. But Ocean does provide other support in the deck, and so I'll talk about that once I get to it. We've got two Photon Thrashers. I've talked about Photon Thrasher before. It's a really good card for Xyz summons in the deck. So I'm playing the two Thrasher, the two Bowman. I felt like it'd be pretty balanced since they do serve a very similar purpose. And the last monster of the deck is Honest because we have a lot of light monsters. And this deck really is not focused on, unlike the Alive Heroes deck, it's not focused on OTKs. It's not focused on putting big damage. It's a much slower paced deck. And it's focused more on winning in small portions. You win little battles to kind of go for your overall goal, and Honest definitely helps you do that. Honest has always been a very good card in the deck, in my opinion. It's just in the Alive Heroes deck, you really didn't keep light monsters on the field too often to keep Honest alive, and you wanted to keep a semi-low monster count to keep the Bubbleman alive, and we don't really... the monster count is still quite... it's not too big, but I feel like with making Neos Alias much more important, Honest is a good choice. So onto the spells, we've got three emergency calls now. They gave us three, so we're playing three. We got to find some way to kind of replace Stratos' effect, and not there's just not one card that replaces him. It doesn't work that way. So you've got to think about multiple things. And Emergency Call is very good. More search cards get you more monsters in essence, and it gets you the monsters that you need to draw when you want them. So then we've got A Hero Lives, just one this time around. Like I said before, the deck is not focused on OTKs. It's not focused on big powerhouse hits. Like I said, it's little advantage at a time. And Hero Lives is there to kind of get you out of tight situations if you need to make, give you a bit of a power play, but, it's not quite as necessary as it used to be. So just one works out decently well. And then lastly, we've got our generic Reinforcement to the Army, so always a good card to play in any warrior-themed deck. We've got 3 Gemini Spark this time around. Gemini Spark always goes between 2 and 3 for me, depending on how many Gemini cards I'm playing. And as you can see, we've got the 4 here, so 3 Gemini Sparks for me. It's most consistent way to play it, in my opinion. And it's a fantastic card. It helps you dodge spells and traps and dodge destructions and just make good plays. Got Dark Hole because it's Dark Hole and it's one of the few power cards we have left. Forbidden Lance because I think Forbidden Lance, it's good to have more battle phase tricks and just good to have more protection. Got Triple Miracle Fusion. Miracle Fusion, once again without Stratos, it's not quite as good. It's still very, very, very good, but getting that Stratos back from Shining was always a great play to do. We just don't have the ability to do so anymore. But Shining still comes out. He's still very big, and you can still get your Alias plus a Bubble Man or an Ocean and make plays there. So you don't lose a whole lot out on the Miracle Fusion. It's a card that heroes absolutely need, in my opinion, and a card that I'm thankful we can play 3 of. I'm only playing 1 Super Polymerization this time around. With Dragons, kind of taking such a hit on the list, I don't really feel like they're going to be quite as prevalent. I mean, I could be wrong, but they've lost a big piece of their deck as well. So I really only played 2 last time because I wanted to make dealing with Light and Darkness Dragon and Draco Sack a bit easier. So Super Polymerization is still very good, though. It's that 1 card out to whatever you might be dealing with. So definitely something to consider and work with. I might side another. I haven't decided yet. But to replace the second one I was using, I'm playing Mask Change. So Mask Change is a big favorite of mine. I've always liked the card. And I told myself that if Heavy Storm ever went away, I'd play Masked Hero Acid because he's Harpy's Feather Duster, essentially. Mask Change is really, really good with Acid. He's the best Masked Hero in my opinion. And we've got 3 water monsters to make him. So that's where Ocean kind of serves his second purpose. Like Bubble Man, Bubble Man can be used with Mask Change and as well as Xyz Summons. And I guess you can use his other effect if you get lucky, but Ocean, just super good with Mask Change. If you can Mask Change Absolute Zero into Masked Hero Acid, it's a very, very good play. It doesn't happen quite as often, but like I said, it's super good if you can get it to work out. And now we're playing 3 Pots of Duality. I really, really like having 3 Duality in the deck. I've always considered Pot of Duality to be a very good card in Elemental Heroes because Elemental Heroes really don't rely on special summons that much. I mean, the deck can run very, very well without a special summoning, and Pot of Duality is just so good because the deck has so many different cards that combo with each other to where you can just Duality into those cards and you can prepare your hand and prepare you for the next turn. So 3 Duality is very, very good. It adds a very high level of consistency to the deck, one that we would have lost, I guess, without having Stratos, because Stratos did offer a lot of consistency. He turned bad hands into good hands, and he was able to get you certain monsters when you needed them. I mean, he was a +1, which was always good to give the deck a little bit of a speed boost. I mean, Duality doesn't give you a plus, but at least it thins the deck by a bit and like I said, makes things a little more consistent. I mean, the way the deck is set up, it's in essence a 32 card deck with a 3 duality and then these 5 search cards. It's not guaranteed to be that work out that way, but in essence, that's the way it's set up, which is very good. It gives the deck a bit of speed, a bit of the ability to draw into what you need with relative consistency and ease. And the last 2 spells of the deck are 2 Mystical Space Typhoon. Without Heavy Storm, I feel like it's important to at least play a decent amount of spell and trap removal. I would play 3, but I have Gemini Spark and Forbidden Lance, so I don't really feel like 3 is necessary. I mean, I've played decks in the past in which I never played any Space Typhoons because I had the Sparks, which served a very similar purpose. I mean, like I said before, Spark lets you dodge, Mirror Force, Dimensional Prison, whatever it might be, whereas Space, you kind of have to hit it preemptively, and then Lance is Lance, I guess. So yeah, I'm not really concerned with spells and traps because, like I said, we do have a lot of removal, especially if you get the effect of Acid off when you mask change, so it's not the biggest issue in the world. And once again, talking about that Gemini Sparks, we're playing 2 Hero Blast. Hero Blast Gemini Spark Alias is a very, very good combo. You can spark your Alias away, deal with something, and then if you've got a Hero Blast face down already, maybe it's your turn. Maybe they didn't do anything to your Alias. Maybe they set a card, set a monster, whatever. You spark. Well, setting a monster doesn't quite work because Hero Blast has to be faced up, but you see where I'm getting at. You spark 1, put the Alias in the grave. You Hero Blast whatever's still up on the board. You put the Alias back in your hand, and then you can normal summon it, and then you already got the draw of Gemini Spark. So it allows you to gain card advantage over your opponent as well as recycle your own cards. So it works out really nicely, especially since we lost a bottomless trap hole. Hero Blast, to me, serves as a pretty good replacement. So then we've got 1 Solemn Warning and 1 Torrential Tribute, as well as the 1 bottomless, like I said before, just to give us those one-of cards that are, of course, very good. We've got 2 Mirror Force. I play 2 because I want to make sure I have enough mass removal. I mean, I really found myself enjoying the 2 Torrential. I mean, I played 2 Mirror Force in the deck previous to this, so I figured I'd try out 2 again. I've got the 2 Breakthrough skills this time around. I played Fiendish Chain before because I didn't want my opponent to be able to attack me because I paid a lot of life points. But this deck, you only have 2 cards that pay life, which is Hero Lives and Warning, so it's not too much of a concern exactly. And I feel like if more decks are remaining more Space Typhoons, I want the Breakthrough skill over the Fiendish Chain because I don't want my opponent to chain the space to the Fiendish Chain and then it doesn't resolve. Plus, Breakthrough skill is good because it allows you to, you essentially get the 2 effects, so it's pretty good. And then lastly, we've got 1 Dark Bribe. I don't feel like Starlight Road is quite as necessary this time around because I mainly used it to protect from Heavy Storm. And, I mean, we're down 1 Torrential as well, so there's just those less cards that would see play that you would be able to actually use Starlight Road on. So I switched out with Dark Bribe because Dark Bribe does hit whatever you want to hit, so you can hit whatever card you think might be a problem for you, and your opponent drawing a card isn't necessarily that bad because either A, it's a card that probably isn't going to do them as much good as the one before that because you felt the need to negate it, or B, you might be going for a game and you don't really care what they have face down because you're just going to bribe it and stop it. So that's that. Onto the extra deck. I've got 2 Elemental Hero Shining, 1 Escudidao, 1 Great Tornado, 1 Gaia, 1 Nova Master, 1 Absolute Zero, your standard group of E heroes here. Plus, like I said before, Masked Hero Acid, who's very good. So if you don't know his effect, you can see here, it's when he's special summoned, you destroy all spells and traps your opponent controls. And if you do, all their monsters lose 300 attack points. So he's very, very good. Really cool card, one of my favorites. For XCs, we've got Heroic Champion Excalibur, Blade Armor Ninja, Gaga Cowboy, Abyss Dweller, number 50 Black Ship of Corn, Maestro, the Symphony Jin, and we're replacing Shockmaster with Evil Swarm Ouroboros. So the extra deck really hasn't changed that much, with the exception of I replaced Acid with for Stardust Dragon, and Ouroboros replaced Shockmaster. So I felt like Ouroboros was a solid choice to replace Shockmaster. You might not like Ouroboros. You maybe think you're not going to get 3 monsters on the field at the same time, which is fine. I mean, it happens enough to where I feel like I wanted to play at least one, and to me, Ouroboros was kind of the next step from Shockmaster. I haven't toyed around too much with it. I mean, there's also like Violent Eye Sigma, I guess, if you want to try that out. But I know that whenever I played against people who used Ouroboros, it was always tough to deal with. So I figure I might as well try it out. Side deck's really up to you. I haven't really messed around with it too much. I don't feel like it'll be too different from what I've done in the past, but I've just got Thunder King sitting here for whatever reason. It's really, side decks are really based upon where you're playing at, what the format looks like, and your own personal preferences. So, I mean, I can talk about a side deck in a different video, I guess, if you guys would like to see that, but, in my opinion, that's kind of the way side decks go. So, I mean, that's the deck. Like I said before, I haven't gotten to play around with it as much as I would like to, but I have played roughly 12 games, and I only lost about 2 or 3 of those games, so it's actually been working quite well, a lot better than I expected to, especially because I've been playing, a decent array of matchups, especially, I went up against agents a few times, and for whatever reason, I've always had trouble with agents. I don't know why, it's just kind of the way it ends up being. Maybe I just have super bad luck, but so it's actually been working much, much better than I expected. So this is kind of a rough idea. I might fine-tune it at some point, but I really don't know how much I'm going to be playing at all during these next few months. So, I mean, if Stratos stays banned, this is going to be my blueprint for the deck that I play when I come home for the following format. So, let me know what you guys think about the fallen heroes. Hopefully they can rise back to their feet and prove that, heroes don't ever die. But let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions, leave a comment below, and I will try to get those answered for you guys. And with that, I will catch you later.